I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit more personal. I have never had a comfortable relationship with food until now, which is what this video is about. I was about 14 when I became obsessed with the idea of weight. I had these little tiny petite friends that were just darling, and I wanted to have a body that was tiny and petite like theirs. I wanted to fit in with what that ideal image was, or so I thought at the time. I have since learned that there is more to life than the number on the scale, but I will take you through my entire journey starting at the age of 14 so you can get to know me in my deepest, darkest corners and we will get to how I got to where I am today. I had really unrealistic expectations for myself at 14. Like I said, I wanted this tiny little bony petite body, and it just wasn't going to happen for my frame. I have a fairly wide frame, which at the time was just a little different from most of the girls my age. So I felt kind of like I didn't fit in, and I thought that maybe if I could get to that point, I would be happy. I would be able to fit in a way, even though I honestly think I fit in just fine the way that I was, but for some reason I had this idea that because I didn't look like my friends, I didn't fit with them, which doesn't make any sense, but what do you know when you're 14, right? I wanted some huge changes to my body, and in order to do that, I tried some pretty extreme things. The first thing that I tried was a diet of pure protein bars. I thought that maybe if I ate just a protein bar or two a day, that I would get to this ideal body type. Obviously that didn't last for long. Protein bars aren't that tasty most of the time. I think they've come a long way. It's been 10, 11 years now. It wasn't sustainable because I wanted to eat other food. I dabbled a little bit in Body for Life. I didn't really research this one much. I just knew that you needed a protein for each meal, a complex carb for each meal, and I just kind of threw some stuff together, and this one actually worked pretty well, probably because I was eating healthier foods and I was eating more so my body could actually function in the way that it needed to. I also tried Nutrisystem at the age of 16 or 17. This one, there are pros and cons. Obviously the food's all made for you, which was really convenient, but you could tell that they used a lot of preservatives. It wasn't the tastiest food. I found myself just wanting to eat the regular version of whatever this Nutrisystem version was. There was the cookie diet, which was not what I expected it to be. They drew you in with this marketing scheme that you get to eat these delicious cookies. I hated them. They were so disgusting, and I don't know what they put in them, but the second I ate them and was finished eating them, I was hungry again. So I was constantly starving, and the only other things I could eat were salads and whole foods and vegetables and things like that, and you couldn't eat very many of them, so it was not recommended. I tried several variations of a low-carb diet. I tried Atkins. I just tried plain old cutting out carbs completely. Anything that had carbs in it I wouldn't eat. I tried a diet from the book The Glycemic Load, which talks about your insulin level. I've tried the paleo diet. I didn't mind this one too much, besides the fact that it was really expensive. I felt like I was constantly buying meats, which are the most expensive grocery items still to this day on my grocery list, and I didn't feel like purchasing thousands of dollars worth of groceries every month just to keep this up. My relationship with food obviously was not a healthy one. During college, I was terrified of the freshman 15, so I did everything in my power not to gain weight my freshman year. What I did do was gain the senior 15, and in my case, it was the senior 25. I went from about 130 to about 155, and that was just a few months before I got married. It was a tough time. I felt stressed. I was just stressed out of my mind. I got married, we moved, there was a lot going on, and I just didn't really take care of myself. I never really took care of myself. I didn't care what the inside of my body was functioning like. I just cared what I looked like on the outside, which at this point I had given up on. About a year and a half after we got married, we ended up moving back home. I had a mutual friend of one of my friends reach out to me, and she asked me if I wanted to join her Beachbody accountability groups. Being used to paying hundreds of dollars for some of these weight loss programs, I was expecting, you know, $500 to be a part of this accountability group. So I asked her how much it was, and I wanted just a little bit more information. And so she got back to me. She's like, well, the accountability group's free. We do encourage you to take the product, which is Shakeology. The accountability group was a lot of fun. I actually feel like I made some friends through Beachbody, which was neat. I did the 21-day fix, which was what the accountability group was for, and I really enjoyed it. I thought, you know, I can do anything for 21 days. So I enjoyed the workouts. They were fairly easy, but still challenging enough. I didn't mind the nutrition portion of it. It was okay. It was a very clean food, so a lot of unprocessed products. I think the most processed thing that I would put on their food list is probably wheat bread. So really clean. I felt really great after 21 days, and I liked it, and she asked me if I wanted to join for another 21 days. So I did, and I said yes, and I kept going with that for quite some time. And before I found the lifestyle that I'm currently living, Beachbody was pretty sustainable. I did their workouts pretty consistently for about 2 to 3 years. So overall, I liked Beachbody. The issue that I had with Beachbody was that I felt like if I could not do 21 days straight of this diet, then I was cheating. And they do have specific days set aside or ways to fit in a cheat meal, but it was like the healthy cheat. So like, here, make this chocolate mousse out of our Shakeology or whatever, you know. With Beachbody, I lost close to 20 pounds. So I felt like I was finally at a normal weight, and I felt happy with my results and where I was at. I was never one for moderation. It took me 25 years to learn what moderation was. So during the time that I was doing Beachbody, I went through another pretty stressful time. We were purchasing another home, and it wasn't going quite as planned, and by the time that we moved in, we didn't have a refrigerator, so most of the food that we had to either eat out, or it had to be pantry to microwave, and you couldn't keep any extra. So we opted for eating out most of the time, and I ended up gaining back almost all of the weight that I had lost from Beachbody. Now, with Beachbody, my weight did fluctuate quite a bit because I would go through phases of, 21 days, and then I'd fall off the wagon, and then I'd go 21 more days. During this specific time period, I gained almost everything. So I was back up to about 143 pounds, and I was tired of it. I feel like I had a really hard time repairing that relationship with food, and it's taken me this long to get here. So I wanted to talk about what I'm doing now and why it's working for me. I feel like I am the most comfortable I've ever been with food. So what I'm doing now is the macro diet, or flexible dieting, I guess is what a lot of people call it, if it fits your macros. I'm sure you've seen that as well. I will post another video about what macros are and how to break them down. But for the most part, what you need to know about my journey is that this way of eating has absolutely changed my life. I feel like I have been able to sustain this for so long. I've been doing this for almost a year, and it has been slow progress. And I thought me of all people would lose patience with it. And if I didn't see instant results, then I would be really upset. For me, it was shocking that the results were slow and they took a lot of time, but I was still able to stick with it, and I looked forward to making my numbers. And I know it sounds silly, but I'm really into budgeting, and to be able to have a budget of food and work it that way and look at it that way really made sense in my mind. And the best part about this diet is that I get to eat whatever I want. So I was able to make room for cookies and donuts, and I know there's a lot of controversy about this diet. I've seen a lot of people that are intuitive eaters have an issue with it. My take on the whole thing is that if it's something that you love and that makes you feel comfortable with food and gives you results, then absolutely. If it is something that is healthy for you and you are treating your body well with whatever diet it is, then go for it. Flexible dieting has absolutely changed my life, and it has helped repair a broken relationship with food that was built over years and years and years, and it's fixed it within a matter of months. I feel super healthy. I feel like I've got more energy. I feel happy. I'm able to go to the gym and do what I want to do and push myself and challenge myself, and I feel like I'm able to do that because of the way that I'm eating now. I did hire a coach to help me out, and I absolutely love her, and she has been so fantastic. I promised myself that I would try for at least a month. I purchased a month with my coach, so I would try it for a month, and if I didn't like it, then I didn't need to renew, and I didn't need to do it ever again. So I did it for a month, and I've been with her ever since. So if you have any questions on my dieting history, I would be happy to answer them. Please feel free to leave a comment about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this one in the future. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. I know that there's a lot of controversy their workouts, but I hope you can't hear my dogs saying that, excuse me,